ready. Coach will make an opening statement, and then we'll take questions.
First of all, thank God for this W. It was looking for a young team that's kind of struggled the last couple games to get our win, to get back on track. Felt like we gave a game away at home on Saturday to SMU that we should have won, and kind of a lot of young guys that were kind of questioning themselves, and to come in here tonight and get this win, it makes me feel really good and proud of those guys, because a lot of times we have 5 freshmen on the floor.
Kenny, where did that performance from Lance Thomas come from?
You know, last year, and I have to go back to last year, Lance was probably one of our better players because he couldn't play. He was sitting out, and he worked hard every day. Coming back into this season, I think the expectations got higher, and he put more pressure on himself, and he lost confidence when he didn't achieve that. Just kind of like Boogie. He and Boogie went through the same things. But he always did what we asked him to do. He always still worked his butt off, and we knew that he was going to do exactly what we said. And he got out there and shot the ball the way that we know he can shoot it. He shoots it like that all the time in practice. It's just he lost confidence when he got to the games. His first shot tonight was an air ball over the backboard, but we kept him out there. He got a rhythm. Once he got the rhythm, we knew he was on.
When he's going hot like that at the end, are you kind of on the sideline thinking back to what you told us on Monday about force feeding Precious and DJ and Lester late in games, and then out of nowhere comes Lance Thomas with a couple of really big shots?
Yeah, well, I have to, definitely praise the young guys, because they could have continued to take bad shots, but they knew that Lance was hot. They found him with the ball, and then we executed it, and he made the shot. So I'm proud of that. Yeah, but they had no idea that Lance was going to do that, because against Georgia he didn't shoot it well. He was 1 for 14 or 1 for 18 in the conference, but we knew that was not who he really was. And tonight, his breakout game, he's the type of guy that plays off confidence.
2 back-to-back games now where you've had breakout performances from guys who have been very quiet.
Yeah.
Does that give you a sense of renewed optimism?
Well, I understand the grind. The late great Kobe Bryant, is a guy that I've been seeing so many different quotes from him and so many different things, but his mindset was ultimately your work will pay off. And these guys worked their butts off, and I understood that in due time that the work was going to pay off. And that's what's happening for those guys right now. They still work. They work even harder because they weren't doing what they needed to do, and they felt like they were letting the team down. But they just continued to work, and the work is paying them off now.
Knowing the way that everybody sort of felt after those last 2 games, does this feel even better than the South Florida win?
Yes.
After 2 games?
Yes, because we were kicking ourselves after the SMU game. It was a game you can't lose at home. And coming here, we knew it was going to be tough. I think they have 9 new bodies. They're playing a totally different way. They're guard-oriented, and they're putting Colin Smith in the post, and they're relying on him to score it down there. We got him in foul trouble, which kind of derailed what they really wanted to do. And, it definitely was better than the South Florida win for us.
Coach, talk about, the tragedy that happened on Sunday. We saw your shoes wearing the Kobe's and writing the name on it. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's still, as the fraternity of brothers, it's still just looking at people who haven't spoken on Kobe starting to come out now and talk about it. And it's just continue to stay emotional, because his legacy will live on through us, the guys that competed against him, the guys that knew him, the fans all around the world. And it's still devastating with all 9 passengers. But obviously we touched Kobe. He was a peer. And man, it's just every 5 minutes I think about it. And it's just, something that was unimaginable, unthinkable. Kobe always been invincible. And for that to happen, man, it's devastating.
Was this a must-win in any way, shape, or form?
I deemed it that. I really did. I deemed it that, because we let the game get away against SMU. You don't try to put pressure on the freshmen, but I knew to our coaches, we were like, this is a must-win situation. If you don't, you just got to tie your shoes up and go back at it again. But this was a desperate game for us, for sure.
You always talk about staying on the right path in the game. Lester's in foul trouble. Precious isn't shooting it well in the first half. You got a lot of turnovers. How to get back on track there?
Yeah, well, we kept them out there longer to give them that confidence. Precious had 37 minutes, but he had 34 minutes. Lester ended up playing 23 because he didn't play much of the first half, but I think that they understood the magnitude of this game and they were going to stay locked in. They weren't going to fade out. Obviously, in the Tulsa game, they faded out. In the last 5 minutes, they faded out. So they're learning. All these guys are learning on the fly. They've never faced this type of adversity or these type of situations. And we can keep trying to ignore it all we want, but they're learning on the fly.
Obviously, riding high on a win and a nice performance from some unlikely candidates, but still a few warts. Would you say that's fair? Still some
Well,
issues?
I mean, we got veterans on the team that we need to do better. Obviously, the young guys stepped up tonight, but the veterans really, the only veteran that really stepped up was Lance. But the other veterans, we need them in other ways, whether it's taking charges, whether it's doing all the small things. It's not about the offensive end. Whatever minutes you get, just try to maximize. And that happens. Other guys stepped up today. The next game, it might be the veteran. So we just need to keep doing it by committee.
If I told you DJ, Tyler, and Alex would combine for 0 points, would you say you had any chance of winning this game?
It would have been tough for me to believe that we could win it with those guys going with zeros across. It's okay to have zeros in that category, but the other areas need to be filled up.
Boogie's play, I think, is right around the 3-minute mark, 2.5-minute mark, something like that. It was a lot like Damian Ball's
At Tennessee.
at Tennessee.
I thought about that when it happened.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost the same exact thing.
Yeah.
That was another just huge pivotal play. And then,
Yeah, that was huge because I felt like he took a difficult shot, and young guys do, and he went and got his own rebound and then put it back. That was an even tougher shot because it was contested, and he made it. So, I mean, he's showing that he's not scared of the moment or afraid of the moment, and that's all you want. They're going to make mistakes, but just don't be afraid of the moment. I want those guys to feel free.
what was the mood like from the players after this? I mean, are they like way, way, way high, or is it just like?
No, they're way high because they can exhale again. They know it's not over, but they're understanding and respecting how hard this conference is, whether the nation wants to or not. This conference isn't easy. It's a veterans conference. Like tonight, I think they started 2 seniors, 2 grad transfers, and a junior, I think, or a redshirt junior or whatever. So, not easy.
You've been on the big winning streak already. How do you turn this into another one?
By continuing to do the small things. Still got to bring the turnovers down. We just continue to just make small mistakes, unforced turnovers, and you just got to continue to rebound. We out-rebounded them by 10. They only got 6 offensive rebounds, so and that happened early. Those are the things we're going to have to continue to do.
One more question. Time for one more?
Coach, is it important to you or to these guys, they can win a game scoring less than 60 points, but you guys hadn't done winning?
Yeah, I'd rather score 80 like we did last year, but yeah, it is important that we've gone into people's arena gyms, like at Tennessee, here, and won games that were like low-scoring games, and that just says that we can be in the fight, stay in the fight, and win at the end with young guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.